we're live there now. Chughtai Glera Corja to on all Hasarma by Liv Shanu. Welcome everybody. It's great to be here with you today. I'd like to welcome my new friend Saniya from the Wadi tribe. We're super excited for this event. Before we go any further, I'd just like to take a moment to acknowledge the Algonquin Nation, whose traditional and unceded territory we are gathered upon today. I know that our viewers are tuning in from many places near and far, and I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners and caretakers of those lands too. So I just would also like to give a big shout out to Canada GAA, especially Sean and Kerry, for all their help with this event, promoting it, letting people know about it, and just their general all-around support. I know they've been very helpful to Saniya as well. Saniya is a storyteller, and she's going to tell us a few stories today about my new favorite character called Tach, who is a hurling playing turtle, which I think is just brilliant as a concept. To let everybody viewing know, we do want to hear from you guys. Like, we'd really like you to join in the conversation, to ask us questions, and we'll have some questions for you at the end. So make sure you do participate in the conversation, because we have spot prizes for 5 viewers this morning. So if you're watching on YouTube and you're on a computer, to the right-hand side of the video, you'll see a live chat box, and you can type in there. So maybe if you want to tell us where you're tuning in from this morning, you could start with that. If you're watching on a mobile device, so on a tablet or a phone, the chat box is underneath the video. So that's where you can type everything to us. So as I said, we're going to have a little quiz at the end. So I'm going to ask 5 questions. So 5 lucky viewers will receive the following spot prizes. So you'll get the first book about Tach, which is called Tach and the Cuss on Tour. You'll get this little Tach pin and a little Schlitzer keyring as well that has him on the side of it, and some stickers too. So the way we're going to do it is I'll ask the question, and the first person that types the right answer into the chat box will win. And then just email the embassy. I'll give you the email address at the end, and we'll get your prizes to you. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to Saniya, who's going to tell us all about her great characters. Over to you.
Thanks, Laura. Well, hello to everyone in Canada. I do want to thank Laura from the Embassy of Ireland in Canada, and Sean Hart, Kerry, Breda, everybody who has helped me make this possible as well. This is my first ever storytelling session in Canada, so I'm super excited. Are you all ready? I'm just going to share my screen over here. And here we go. Finally, the 10th of July. So I'm the founder of a company called the Wadi Tribe, and the Wadi Tribe has many characters in it. There are actually 28 characters in the Wadi Tribe. Some of them have really quirky personalities, some of them are very fun, some of them are quite silly, and some of them are quite cheeky as well. Would you like to meet some? Well, the first one today I'm talking about is Lika. Now, Lika is a bobcat, and then we have Gua, the cheeky monkey. He loves to climb, and one of his best friends is Ankeku, who gets in trouble all the time. Toby the dog, who thinks he's a goat, so somebody needs to remind him all the time, you're a dog, you're not a goat. You have Marich the ostrich, who runs the Wadi Cafe, and he's also a referee in some of the matches. Jankan, the loony little goofy camel. Tonza. Now, Tonza is one of my favorite characters because Tonza has an aquarium backpack, which means that his shadow looks like a camel. So he goes around telling everybody he's a camel. He lives in the desert and he tries to eat what camels eat, but that's not right, is it? He's not a camel, he's a giraffe. And he has these little fish in his aquarium as well who speak different languages. So if he needs a translation sometimes, he goes to his friends in the backpack aquarium. And then we have, of course, Little Fish. And Little Fish is, of course, a small fish with a huge personality. He has his own radio station. He's an RJ. He loves to sing silly songs as well. And he has Arkud the shark as a pet. You'll know more about him as we go along. Are you ready to hear more about the book? So the main character in the book is Tach. Now, Tach is a hurler. He's a wee little turtle, and he loves certain things. And one of his favorite juices is the kale juice. So when he comes back home, normally he just jumps into his pond. Yes, he does have a pond in his house, and he just drinks his kale juice all the time. But also, when he's not drinking his kale juice, he daydreams, and that gets him in a lot of trouble sometimes as well. But that trouble can turn into a magical adventure at times. he is scared of quite a few things as well. For example, he's got this vivid imagination. So if he's on the pitch and he's playing a match with his friend, if there's somebody on the other side, his opponents who have teeth, in his mind, the teeth get really big and he starts to get really scared. And then he just drops his stick and the schnither and just goes and stays on the sidelines. So that stops him from playing with his friends at times. So he has to tackle his fear in most of the matches. And these are some of his friends, Kor and Turba, who are his best friends, and they are always found together playing all kinds of different games. So here we go. The first book ever about Tach was called Tach and the Cosson-Thor. And Cosson-Thor is an Irish word which means defender. You can see the Cosson-Thor at the back on the front cover, and his name is Wenba. The first character, as we mentioned, is Tach. He's the main character in this book, and this was his first book. This book is aimed towards 6 years plus, but it's got lots of colorful illustrations, so you can read to your siblings or to your grandchildren who are younger than 6 years as well. And of course, then we have Turba. Now, Turba is very special because there is a book that might be coming out where she's actually going to introduce Mogi, which is the hurling version of the game which the females play. And then we have Kor. Now, Kor loves to play with Tach and Turba, but he doesn't get selected for one of the matches, and he's obviously very upset. And then Marich, do you remember that ostrich that I showed you earlier on? Marich actually brings him in to become a hurley maker, and he loves making hurleys now. And of course, he still does play as well, but his passion is making hurleys. Then we have Salter. Now, Salter is a storyteller or a Shanaki, just like me. And a lot of the young animals in the Wadi tribe, like Tach, Turba, and Kor, love listening to his stories. Normally what happens is that Salter sits in his hammock, which has water in it, and tells a story. Now, on a hot day, I wish I had a water hammock and I could sit in it as well and listen to Salter's stories, or even tell stories to everyone. Then you have Wenba. Now, Wenba is the Cosson-Thor. It's very hard to find him. And even in the story, Tach discovers him by accident. People actually thought that there was no Cosson-Thor left. So it becomes very interesting in the book to see what unveils itself. And then you have Anya. Now, Anya is a bobcat. She's very, very close to Salter. Now, you don't see her a lot, but she's very feisty and she's very strong. But she's very, very protective of the Wadi tribe as well. And there's a secret that is revealed in the book towards the end. Are you ready to read the book? Here we go. Chapter 1. Tach the Turtle. Tach screamed as the dog ran towards him at full speed, teeth bared and jaws snapping. His body started shaking, and he felt his head go numb as he retreated into his shell. Tach, get up, you silly little turtle. Tach poked his head out cautiously, recognizing his friend Turba. But there's a dog, he said to Turba, who laughed. Tach is very scared, like I told you before. It's only Lika, Turba said, helping her friend up. She's just a puppy, and she's friendly. They were playing a strange game involving conkers and wooden sticks. You see, the book is set in the ancient times as well. So before it was even known as hurling, it was known as conkers and sticks. Let's see what happens next. Turba could see that Tach wasn't enjoying it, and looked over to their friend Kor, who was watching from under a tree, anxious to play. She motioned him to come over. It's okay, Tach. Go and sit under the tree and watch the game, Turba said. Kor will play for you. Tach ran back with super speed towards a nearby tree and collapsed under it. His head disappeared again, and all you could see were his eyes. Kor grinned. For someone so small, he sure can run fast, he said. Turba and Kor both joined the game, playing with great zeal. Tach watched them from a distance. He liked the game, but he wished they used stuffed apples instead of hard conkers. He didn't like how dangerous the game was. It wasn't dangerous at all. Tach leaned against the tree and chewed on a blade of grass. It would be sunset soon, and he could go home. And guess what he's daydreaming about? Kale juice, as you can see in the illustration. Don't forget now, he loves his kale juice. The game finished early, and Tach looked up at the sky, puzzled. It's not sunset, so why have they finished, he thought to himself, although he was happy to be going home for a glass of yummy kale juice. All kinds of smelly and dirty animals, turtles, pups, bobcats, and even baby giraffes were walking towards Tach, ready to go home. They were chatting about the game. Tach picked out his friends Caw and Turwa, smiled, and got up. Come on, Tach, let's go home, Turwa said, smiling back. The three turtles walked off together and chatted about the game. Tach felt a bit left out, but tried his best to join in the conversation. You see, he wasn't even watching the game or playing it, he was daydreaming. Great game, Tach said. It was super, Caw said. Did you see me jump high and hit that conker? And the way I rolled when I landed? Oh, Tach exclaimed. I wasn't watching, was I? Caw grinned. Daydreaming again, Tiki-Taki. Now, Tiki-Taki is a fond name that Caw calls his friend Tach sometimes. Tach looked at them, trying to come up with an excuse. Well, it's a good day for a daydream, Turwa said. You'll be well rested for Salto's stories tonight. Wait, is that tonight? Tach asked. Yes, I can't wait as well to go and listen to Salto's stories. Tach, your memory is like a sieve, Turwa said. Your mom told you it was today, just before we left your house. Tach shook his head. No, I don't remember, he said with a smile, knowing that it wasn't his memory that was the problem. He just couldn't focus on things because he was always daydreaming. You can see over here that he's going back home now. All the little ones walked towards the Wadi tribe village. There were doors and everything, tree, rocks, sand, and even the water. Everyone lived in a special home. Tach and his friends lived in houses near the beach. Of course, because the turtles love the sea, don't they? Now, Tach, don't forget, we have to catch the Ginny Joes at the ferry station in 15 minutes, Turwa said. Oh, don't worry, Turwa dear. I'll make sure Tach gets there in time, Tach's mom said, who had opened the door to let Tach in. Now, Tach, you don't look very dirty, but take a quick bath anyway. We all know why Tach wasn't dirty. Because he hadn't played the match with his friends. He was sitting on the sides, daydreaming and thinking about his kale juice. Tach squealed with happiness as he slid down and landed in a pool of warm water. He loved baths. Do you guys like baths as well? He floated on his shell, swimming around with glee. He smiled at his mom as she handed him a glass of green kale juice. What do you do? Kale juice, Tach said, gulping the juice down. One of these days, I'll know what this Wadi Wadu is. Do you know what Wadi Wadu is? Well, everybody in the Wadi tribe, especially Tach, Turwa, and Caw, and Salto as well, when they get excited, they all say Wadi Wadu. And I started saying that as well because I love the word Wadi Wadu. Maybe you can use that word today as well when you get excited. She wrapped a colorful scarf around his neck and then gently pushed him out the door. Have fun and say hi to Salto for me. I will, Mom, Tach said, and threw her a flying kiss. He ran off at full speed. He didn't want to miss the Ginny Joe ride. He kept wrapping his scarf around his neck as it kept unraveling in the wind. He could see the ferry train station. It looked very busy. Tach! He heard his name being shouted from near the ticket booth. He stretched his neck higher to see who was calling his name. Come on, Tiki-Taki. That's calling Tach. We know that's his favorite name for his friend. As they got closer, Tach saw it was Turwa calling to him. He waved to them frantically. I've got both your tickets for the Ginny Joe, Turwa said. It seems everyone wants to see Salto tonight. The queues are ridiculously long. You see, there's only a few tickets to go see Salto. If I'm not wrong, I think there's only 50 tickets. So it's first come, first serve. And if you don't get the 50, if you're not in the first 50, you don't get the tickets. So you don't want to miss the Salto storytelling session. And Turwa was very clever that way. So she was there before Caw and Tach to get the tickets. I'm so excited to see Salto, Tach said, jumping up and down with excitement. Caw and Turwa were as excited as Tach. Salto is the best storyteller ever, Caw said. I wish he would tell us how old he is. My mom said Salto looked exactly the same age when she was my age, Turwa said. Now, that's a bit strange, isn't it? How old do you think Salto is? I think he's probably around 150 years old. Oh, he's obviously collected a lot of good stories, in those 150 years. But I'm guessing now, I'm not sure how old Salto is. Hop on, boomed a voice. Tach looked up to see Marge the ostrich looking down at them. One of his eyes was covered with a patch, and he looked at them sternly with the one good eye. It's very busy at this time, so hurry before all the Ginny Joes disappear, he said. Can I sit on the blue Ginny Joe, Marriage? Tach asked, smiling at Marriage. Marriage nodded and lifted him onto a blue-colored Ginny Joe. They looked at the colorful Ginny Joes attached to the cable, each having a comfy seat attached to them. Marriage reached over and put the seatbelt on Tach. Now stay put on it, Tach, and make sure you get off at the right station. No daydreaming. We don't want a repeat of your last trip, Marriage said, winking at Tach. Tach smiled back at him, knowing all too well what Marriage was talking about. He had been daydreaming on his last trip and fell asleep. He was on the Ginny Joe for nearly 2 hours before Tach's worried mum found him. So that's chapter 1. Is that interesting for you all? Do you think we should go on to chapter 2? I think so too as well. Let's see. What is chapter 2 about? Chapter 2, the Salter Station. Ooh, this is getting exciting. Tach looked ahead excited and waved to his 2 friends. The Ginny Joe picked up speed and floated higher. It went through a tree, slowing down for animals to get off at the tree trunk station. There were 2 more stops before they reached Salter Station, and Tach was getting even more excited. I wish Salter told stories more often, he said to himself before falling into a daydream. Not again. Tach! Tach! Turbo turned around and shouted, next stop, Salter! Tach snapped out of his daydream and gave Turbo a thumbs up. The sight of the Salter station was the best ever. The station was on the riverbank, lined with enchanting twisted trees. Colorful butterflies with majestic wings flooded over wide open spaces. And you can see Salter there as well. Tach undid his seatbelt and jumped out. Not many animals here yet, he said. No, we're early, Turbo explained. Let's go and get a place close to Salter, Cor said. Look, I can see Salter's house, Cor said as they ran through the trees. The cottage looked magical with tree roots climbing up the walls and lots of colorful flowers all around it. A familiar figure stood by the door. Salter! The 3 turtles ran over to Salter, who opened his arms to embrace them in a warm hug. Hello, my little ones. I can always count on you 3 to be here, he said. We've never missed your storytelling, Salter, Turbo said. We love your stories, Tach said. Love? What is love? Love? Salter didn't even know what that is. It's this word that means more than love. And I love all of you, all my little young listeners who are listening to this storytelling session today. I love you, like Tach would say. Ha ha ha, I love it, or I love it, Salter said. Now take your seats. I'm going to meet everyone else. Salter walked over to the rest of the animals. I would love to sit in the hammock. Can you see the hammock with the water in it? It is so nice. I can't wait to have one in my own house as well. So Salter said, he looked at all the characters, all the little animals sitting in front of him. Are we ready for another exciting story? He asked. Yes, everyone said. Today's story is about ancient warriors, Salter said, sitting back in his water hammock. The animals listened intently, hanging on his every word. There was once a group of special animals trained to become the defenders of the tribe, Salter began. They started young and trained for many years, learning physical and mental skills to strengthen both mind and body. Once they were ready, they used their training to compete in games of skill, each one more challenging than the last, in the hope of one day becoming a Cosson-Thor. A Cosson-Thor? Tach whispered under his breath, captivated. He wanted to get closer to Salter, so he obviously snuck up and got closer to him. Salter continued. When they came into the village, everyone lined up to see them, and a special week of festivities started. It was rare to see them together, for they were normally spread out across the land, defending it from the forces of evil. Evil, Tach thought. If only I was like a Cosson-Thor. I think we would all like to be a Cosson-Thor. But when Salter was telling a story, something very dramatic happened as well. He stopped for a moment, and you can see over here, Salter paused as if afraid to speak. Something terrible happened to all the Cosson-Thors. Now only one remains, he said. The last Cosson-Thor went into hiding many years ago, but I think we know who the Cosson-Thor is. Legend says that he is the strongest and fastest, so fast, in fact, nobody has ever seen him, only his shadow. Have you seen him, Salto? A young voice asked from the spellbound listeners. As a matter of fact, Salto suddenly stopped and looked at the back of the crowd. Tach turned his head to see a large bobcat running through the crowd, coming straight for him. He closed his eyes, thinking he was going to be eaten for sure. He waited for the teeth to sink in, but nothing happened. He opened his eyes as the bobcat jumped clean over him. Everyone watched as the bobcat whispered to Salto. Tach listened carefully, hearing the words wolves and forest. Salto's eyes widened with concern. Thank you, Anya, he said. Something's not right over here. There's obviously dangers to come. I wonder what's going to happen in the book. So we're just going to come towards the end of the chapter, which is over here now. Everybody has to go back to the village because Anya the bobcat has told of dangers to come. But Tach being Tach gets stuck in the branches. So, oh no, what's going to happen to him now? Now, the book has 8 chapters. One of the key things in the book I wanted to talk to you about was the glossary at the back. There's a lot of new characters in the book that maybe while you're reading it, you might get confused or forget. So you can go towards the back of the book and have a look at all the different characters and animals that are being that are in the story. So you've got Salto, you've got Babero, Renba, Zarfe, Bua Bua, Lika, we know Lika the bobcat, there's Jankam, lots and lots of different animals. And this is the map. Now, each book that I write, I love the fact that kids can go into the map. So if you're looking for the Salto station, you can find it on the top right, but of course you have to go to the Tree Tongue station, the Puka station, the Root station, and there's a Grogok Island as well, which is obviously coming in the second book. And this is the Wadi land. And right on the bottom right, you can see that there's a Wadi village as well. So the book has a map in the start of before the start of the story. And also there's lots of bookmarks that when you do get the book, you can get a signed copy of me and you can get these custom bookmarks for the book as well. Now, this is a trailer for Tach and the Cosmonaut. I will leave you to enjoy. I hope you enjoyed that one. And we are going to move on to the second book. This is very exciting because I am launching this book today. In fact, this morning, a couple of hours ago, we launched this book, and it is such a joy to share this with everybody in Canada. It's called Tach Plays in Croke Park. Now, Croke Park is one of the biggest stadiums in the world, and this is where most of all the hurling matches happen in Ireland as well, and of course the football as well. But Tach is playing his first ever match in Croke Park against the Goboks. And I wanted to introduce not only the book, but also the characters in the book. We all know Salto, the storyteller, but in this book, he's actually coaching all the little turtles over here. And you have a Tach and Ko and Kurwa who are playing as well. Now, this book is aimed towards 4 years plus. And so Salto, the coach, is back over here. Then we have Ko, who is Tach's friend. I wonder what number he would have when he's playing. Now we have Babero over here as well. Now Babero, he's a very funny character. I actually really like him. He chats a lot, and he's the commentator now during the match. But Babero panics a lot as well. So say, for example, if one of the Grogok hits Tach, The first one to panic is Barbero, and somebody has to tell him, calm down, it's okay, it's just a game. And then we have Turwa, she's playing in this game as well. And I wonder if all three of them with their teammates can actually beat Croke. And then we have Marich. Now, Marich is the referee in this match. And for the first time ever, you are going to read one of the pages. I'm going to read from one of the pages from the book as well. This has not been seen before. And as you can see from this illustration, there's a Gogok over there. Let me know what you think of that as well. I think it's pretty, the illustration is pretty cool. It's quite scary as well, and you can see that they're huge. So here we go. Tach's thoughts were interrupted by the sound of Coach Salter's whistle. 2 laps off the pitch, everyone, now, and pick up the speed. Tach took off running, but he was so focused on looking around that he didn't notice the giant shape in front of him. Hey, watch where you're going, a voice said. Tach looked up and up and up. Looming over him was a Groga. I knew they were big, but this guy is huge, Tach thought. How am I going to get around them? I can't even see over them. Now, it looks like a very unfair match, especially when you look at the size of Tach and then the Grogoks as well. And Tach has a lot of fear as well. Do you remember he was so afraid to play with his friends as well? So I can only begin to imagine how afraid he would be to play against these huge Grogoks. But let's see what happens in the book. So join me as I've launched this Tach Plays in Croke for the first time ever on Kickstarter. And here is a little trailer of it. And during this campaign, when you do pledge or back the book, there's lots of rewards that you get through it as well. Some of them would be the Slither keychains, as Laura had shown you, but there's also stickers. I love the stickers. I have some stickers over here. I'll show them to you later on as well. There's fridge magnets, coloring pages, and lots of other things as well. Now, Tach Plays in Croke. It's my 8th book, so I've written for different age groups before that as well. And Tach has become very popular, and one of my big dreams is for it to become a TV animated series. You can see over here, we've been playing with a few of the characters. Gur, Salter, and Po is one of the characters in the Wadi tribe. It'd be great to get all your support so that we could actually have it as an animated TV series for all the kids out there as well. So thank you for all the support. Do back the project if you get a chance. And I will leave you in the end with just a glimpse of some of the books that I've written before. This is the Adventures of Chi and Day series in Mutlish Jinn. These are also coloring books as well. They have lots of different characters. The first one is very magical, where you've got the Rara sisters who are trying to take away the magic from Mutlish Jinn. You have Distalis, the Desert Lizard, the Rara sisters, Sheriff, and then you have the second book, which is the Adventures of Chi and Ishka Bocha. There's Drosky, there's Fopala, Clumoon, which is inspired by a place called Cluna up in Ireland as well. The second book, Ishka Bocha, won, it was a finalist, and Tach and the Kosovo actually won the Reader's Choice Award as well. So there's lots of exciting news around all these books. But they all have this range of characters. Like, for example, you have Matter the Stick insect. You can see it on the top of your screen there, who, when he talks, he clicks his tongue and winks 3 times. He goes like this. You know, he's a very, very funny character. And again, like Tach and the Cosmosaur, they come with bookmarks. If you go to the Wadi Tribe, there's lots of the Wadi Tribe website. There are a lot of freebies over there, coloring books, coloring pages, sorry, dot-to-dots activities that you can download for free. So this is the website, thewaditribe.com, and thank you very much to listening to my storytelling session. Over to you, Laura.
Hi everyone, that was really, really enjoyable, and that was great. Thank you so much, Saniya. So we've a quiet enough group watching today, but I'm going to ask the questions and we'll see. But yeah, lots of people are really enjoying this and joining in. And we had one person was very happy and surprised to find out that Croke Park is a real park. So that's really cool. People are learning things today. So for our viewers, I have our 5 questions. So the first person that types the answer into the box for each of the questions wins a prize. Now it's the same prize, so you know, you don't need to answer all of the questions. But first question I have, and you'll win a book, Schlitter Keyring, a badge. Just in case people tuned in late, I'll show you one more time. So you'll get this book, which is the first book about Tach. You'll get a keyring with a Schlitter on it. I don't know if you can see that. You'll get a Tach pin, and you'll also get a sticker for the Wadi tribe as well. So if people are ready, the first question that I have for you all is, what animal is Tach?
Have a look behind me.
Yes. Big hint on the screen. Look away. Then the second question that we have is, what is his favorite kind of juice? The third question we have, and I'll read these out again at the end, don't worry. What sports does he love to play? The fourth question is, where is he playing his next match? And the last question is, name one of Tach's best friends. Okay, so we have E. Banksy has come in and answered turtle for the first one. So you win the first prize. Well done. The second question that I'll say it again. So the first prize is gone. I'm just gonna see who won.
Congratulations to Ebank. Does he have a first name?
Do you want to tell us your first name?
It's okay. Well, congratulations to him.
Yeah. Then we have a Mustafa also came in with a turtle, but just a second too late. So we'll ask the second question now. So the second question is, what is Tach's favorite kind of juice?
Do you know what? I love chips as well. And I think sometimes I'm munching on kale chips.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big hint there.
Yeah, kale chips are lovely.
I hope it's the kids who are answering the questions. The hints are for the kids.
E. Banksy has also come in for the it's Dara Banks is the winner's name for the first prize, and they've also answered for the kale juice prize as well. So maybe you get 2 copies of the book. Then Mustafa in Mississauga has won the prize for answering that Tach is playing his next match in Croke Park. So congratulations.
Oh, brilliant. Congratulations, Mustafa.
And now we are just waiting for an answer to, what sports does Tach love to play, and can name one of his best friends.
Now you can see that Tach is actually holding a slither, and I actually have something over here that maybe people can see. This is the game that he likes, and you have to use a come on. Some people call it a hurley stick or a hurl. I like to call it a come on. And that's what you use to play this game that Tach likes. It starts with a H, just another hint there. I don't think I'm too good with this, Laura.
You're just giving away all of the
you know what? It's a great sport as well, Laura. And I think from hurling, it's an ancient warrior sport. Mm-hmm. And also a lot of other sports stem from it as well. There's hockey, there's ice hockey, shinty. There's lots of different amazing sports that have sort of come from this particular sport, which I think I said it again.
Yeah. Hopefully people will get it. Okay, so Andrea has won the prize for saying that Tach loves to play hurling.
Congratulations, Andrea. Enjoy the book.
And yeah, so I think we will wait. Maybe, I know some people will be tuning in later. Some people might have been playing GA this morning, for example. I might have missed tuning in live. But when they watch it later on today, they can email the embassy with the first person that sends an email into the embassy for the 2 prizes can win. We're going to send 2 copies of the book to Dara, but I don't think we can send 3. Dara Banks is getting all the answers, but we'll send you 2 prizes. But yeah, we better give some other people a chance as well. So yeah, I think, has anyone got any questions they'd like to ask Saniya?
Dara sounds like a huge big fan, so I'm sending my love for you to him. And thank you so much for knowing Tach so well.
Any questions? No, they're a quiet gang today. Maybe they're a bit shy.
One of the things that I'm actually coming on my phone is where to get the books, Laura. And you can obviously get them on the website, which is for Tach and the Cousin Park. But the second book, which I'm really excited about, Tach Plays in Croke, is actually on Kickstarter today, launched today, which is going to run for 30 days. But it creates a momentum if you kind of back it the first 2 days as well. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's a very key book because, like you said, we know Croke Park. The kids have gone over there as well. I'm originally from Boxing and I'm Irish by nationality as well. And I find that outside, it's a great way of introducing Croke Park. A lot of people have come back to me and they said, we would love to go to Ireland to see Croke Park, once they heard about the story. And it's part of the fabric culture of Ireland, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, for sure. And it's one of, hurling in particular is one of the oldest sports, I think. And it's, one of the fastest sports played on grass. And what's really interesting for a Canadian, that hockey, ice hockey, as we'd say in Ireland, but hockey here actually has its roots in hurling as well. So there's a lot of connections and sporting between like Ireland and Canada as well, particularly around GAA, which is really interesting. We have a question here from Braden who wants to know what inspired you to write these books.
Well, like I said, I've always been a storyteller, and my husband, Brendan, he is a big GAA player, and he kept on saying, when are you going to write a book around GAA football or hurling? And I wasn't too sure because it has to be an inspiration. And I actually was reading an article that a Canadian journalist had written. And in it, he had the first few sentences was hurling, the ancient warrior sport. And Laura, that was it. The imagination started, and it was the fastest first draft I ever wrote, 3 days. Now, I looked like after 3 days like I hadn't slept, but I had to write it. And it was almost like writing the same speed that hurling is played, because it is the fastest game with a stick and a ball, And so that's what inspired me, and I could not stop. It's going to be part of a 5 series. So this one is based on Tach discovering hurling. The second one, where we have Turwa, she will introduce Camogie. So I'm looking forward to writing that book as well. And the third one, like I mentioned, Core, is brought in to become a hurley maker, which I think is equally important as playing the game as well. There's a special connection between the players and the hurley maker as well. It's almost like an extension of their arm, when they're playing.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, we have someone that agrees with you that the characters would look great on television.
I love that. It's a big dream, just to have it. Like, would you believe it? We actually have the script written. We have the animators on board as well. We just need a few backers, and we're off then, So it'll probably be around 6 to 6.5 minutes TV series. Very promising. We just have to get the pilot going as well. So fingers, eyes, everything crossed for this.
Fingers crossed for you. I have a question actually, because because other ones haven't come in there. How did you pick the characters' names?
Oh, I get that. I get that question asked quite a few times now. So what normally happens is that I take a character and I use the Irish name of that. Like, say, for example, you have turtle or you have a giraffe, and then mix it with English, or my mother tongue is Urdu, so I kind of mix it up, and whatever speaks, it just comes to me. But generally, I actually have the character and the personality form first. Once I have that, it's very easy for me to name the characters then. Do you like the name Tach? I know some of them are a bit difficult to pronounce, like you've got Kosanthor, and I know from the West of Ireland, people call Tach Tach, which I love.
Yeah, I think every part of the own kind of Irish, which is really interesting. I remember I grew up when I was a kid in like Maynooth, so kind of near Dublin, speaking a particular kind of Irish, and then I moved down to Roscommon, which is in the west of Ireland. It's a totally different kind of Irish, and I was really confused.
But you know what, Laura, it's been such a joy to talk to you about this as well. I know Brina has been a huge support as well. And to bring this character to Canada, the whole journey has been so exciting. I've actually never been to Canada. I do have family and friends over there. No, one of these days I will turn up, hopefully with Tach there now. What has it been like for you to get introduced to myself and the character?
Yeah, no, it's been absolutely great. So like you said there, Brita, one of our superstar team members here in Ottawa, made the introduction at first. And I was really excited because we've never done something for kids before. And of course, obviously COVID has been absolutely terrible, but it has also given us these opportunities that we can do all of this stuff online, which means that we're able to reach audiences that maybe we wouldn't have been able to before. So there's people tuning into this event today from, Canada, from Ireland, from the US, like from everywhere. And, we never could have done that a few years ago if we were having, it's like say if we'd invited you to Canada, we'd only have a particular audience in the city that you're in, so this has been like really good. And I've introduced you to some other colleagues as well, and I think Tach should go global, so we'll see kind of how it goes from here. Actually, Brita has just commented on the video, so she said awesome storytelling event, and there's some other GAA things happening this morning, so lots of people are going to tune in again later tonight to
I have to thank Sean Hart as well from the Canada GAA as well. Huge support, and it's been such a pleasure to talk to him as well. And of course, being the summers, and I don't know if the schools are out yet, Laura, over there in Canada.
I'm not actually sure. I think some of them might be, but no, Sean and Kerry as well have been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, Sean and Kerry, both of them. And then because the kids are off as well, it's I think there's activity PDF that you might have sent around.
Oh yes,
it's a great way for kids to keep them busy as well. And one of the activities in there is how many clubs there are in Canada, GAA clubs. And I had a great time going to them myself as well. There's 28 clubs, and I think I can probably name all of them. Don't put me on the test right now. I'll have to pull up the names. But it's a great way of keeping the link going at home with GAA and kids. And Tach, for me, is a great character because he wouldn't be a normal looking kind of a player. He's short and, he's a turtle. How in the world is he going to play hurling? So it's quite fun to see how he actually overcomes, the height and the fear to play the game.
Which is a really important message, I think, for people as well. Because some people might be, scared to get involved in sports or something. So it's a really positive message. And of course, teaching people to drink kale juice is another very positive message. I have another question here from Dara again, wondering how many characters are in the books altogether?
Well, the Wadi tribe, which is the whole village, I suppose, there's 28 characters in the Wadi tribe. But in each book, you'd have maybe 7 to 8 who come and participate, or part of the story. In Tach plays in Croke, I think there's 5 characters in there. You've got Marich, Barbero, Kor, Turwa, Salter, and Tach himself there. Yeah, so there's, 6 there, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great. Brita said that the most important thing about the 28 clubs is that you put the Ottawa Gales at the top of the list.
It was just an accident, not. I love you. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to ask the last question one more time. Okay, so we've already got an answer to what animal is Tach and also what his favorite juice is. So Dara will get the prizes for that. Andrea is winning the prize for what sports does he love to play. Mustafa is going to win where is he playing his next match. And then the first person that answers now, and I'm sorry if I've missed this before, name one of Tach's best friends, and they'll get the prize for that. Andrea, we'll wait for that response. Andrea wants to know, which character did you come up with first?
It was definitely Tach. You see, all 3 of them were there together, and so they kind of popped one after the other. But yeah, so Tach, Turwa, and Kor. And actually, you know what? I tell a lie. It was Salter, the storyteller. once I had Salter, so he is the head of the clan. And once I had him, it was like I had grounded the Wadi tribe and all the other characters sort of stemming out of that.
Great.
And I think towards the end, Laura, you're probably going to put links where they can get the books. If they've missed the videos as well, they can watch the videos on the website. There's lots of freebies, like I said, as well. And then the link to Tach and Croke as well. And if they have any questions, there's links on the website and the Kickstarter campaign as well. They can email me and ask me any questions as well.
Great. Yeah, when this is finished, we'll put up the links on Twitter and on Instagram that people can go on to the website and check out all the books. And we now have Mustafa has just won the last prize as well for naming one of Tach's best friends.
I'm telling you what, they're collecting the books for the clubs now.
Yeah, exactly. But you can share them with your friends when you're finished reading them as well, so everyone will get to see. So for our excuse me, our 3 prize winners for our 5 prizes, just make sure that you email the embassy that you can claim your prize, basically. So if you email us, or if you get your parents email us, the address is ottawaembassy@dfa.ie. So DFA, like Department of Foreign Affairs, dfa.ie, and just give us your full name, your YouTube username as well, just that we know that it's you, and then your home address, and we'll get that posted out to you. There's no other questions coming in, so have you anything else you'd like to tell us about your characters?
Yeah, just the importance of sports as well on mental well-being for kids as well. It's very, very important, Laura, and I think GA has played a very important role for kids. Like, you have kids playing hurling starting at the age of 2 as well, you know. So it gives them a sense of community as well, but also a mental strength as well that will take them through life as well, whether it's career, whether they're with their friends as well. So it's a great way of instilling, you know, storytelling. It doesn't have to be my book, but any kind of book about sports. I think it's very important to introduce our kids as at an early age as well. And for me, GA, you know, where we all belong, is just the whole ethos of it, the whole vision of it is just so beautiful as well. And I know every time I've traveled as well, if there's a GA club, when you arrive at the pitch, you just feel home. You just know that you have a community and friends you can run out. So it's beyond sports as well for me. And it's such a privilege to be introduced to that kind of a community. And I would strongly encourage everybody globally who don't know about hurling yet to go on the internet, have a look at hurling, have a look at GA, have a look at Croke Park as well. There's Croke Park Museum. They've actually started a kids club now, a kids book club now as well. And if you can't physically visit it, you can watch it on the internet, but the first chance that you get, do go visit Ireland. It's not just about Croke Park, it's about the people over there as well. You won't want to come back.
We are pretty great, so I can
yeah,
say that.
Best crack ever, as in CRAICK.
No, but just to pick up on what you're saying about the GAA kind of being more than sport, I know from our work in the embassy, it's often the first port of call for new arrivals in Canada, the people that have moved over here and they're trying to find their community, and just to have the GAA as that support system, whether it's to play sport or just the sort of social element of it, is so important in the Irish community, I think all over the world. And also, you know, then for people that maybe decide to settle down in their new countries and have kids, it's a great way for the kids to get involved with that aspect of Irish, like, sporting heritage and culture as well. So I think what you're saying is really true and very important to me.
And we've got, like, even in the Middle East as well, we've got a lot of clubs over here, the GA clubs, and we've got the juvenile clubs now as well, the Dubai Kells. And then there's clubs up in Vietnam. In fact, somebody messaged me on LinkedIn saying that they'd love to see Tach and Croke in Vietnamese as well. So it's great to hear that no matter where you go, even if the city is quite small, there's always a GA link over there as well. And it draws in the locals as well into the game, again, because it's more than just sports. For sure. I think we've no other questions coming in there, so we might draw this brilliant event to a close. Brendan has said that he met some amazing folks from all over the world who were playing with the Ottawa Gales back in 1996. I think you might know that, Brendan. Oh, no, I don't. No clue who he is. Too
I
many
just
people out
want
there.
to I just want to say on behalf of myself and all of our viewers, like thank you so much for joining us today. This has been so enjoyable and definitely one of my favorite events that we've done so far. And I think that the people that tuned in today really enjoyed it. And I think that anyone that watches it later on will really enjoy it as well. And we'll absolutely make sure to share the links to your new books so that people can check them out. And just again, to our 3 prize winners, do not forget to email the embassy if you want your prizes, or else I'll have to keep them all to myself. So just a reminder, email ottawaembassy@dfa.ie with your first name, your YouTube username, so we know that it's you, and your home address, and we'll get those posted out to you as soon as we can, okay? So if you could do that at some point in the next week, I'd really appreciate it, and we'll make sure that we get that out to you so that you have some good summer reading to get you through the next couple of months, okay? So Saniya, just thank you so much again. This has been absolutely fantastic, and I hope you enjoyed this morning as well.
I was absolutely brilliant. I want to thank you, Brina, everybody in the Embassy of Ireland, Sean, Kerry, and all my fans, everybody up in Canada and beyond as well. I know there's quite a few people from USA, GA joining in as well. Thank you so much. Absolute pleasure to be on your YouTube channel today.
Great.